Today I want to talk to you about 5 myths or misconceptions about laundromats. If you don't know me, my name is Mark Soros. I own the Washing Well Laundromat in Aberdeen, New Jersey. I also go by the name the Laundromat Entrepreneur. I do help people buy and learn about getting into the laundromat industry. So the first myth, it is the biggest by far, and it's laundromats are passive income. And you might have seen other people on YouTube tell you, buy a laundromat, you don't have to do anything, you're just going to collect quarters. If you think that's the case, then you're really in for a surprise.
Thanks.
Now, I've said in other videos that one of the great things about owning a laundromat is that it's not all consuming. You can have a full-time job and own a laundromat. But if you think you're not going to have any involvement, if you're just going to sit back, collect quarters, you're never going to talk to a customer, you're never going to have to fix a machine, never going to have to answer a complaint, then you're fooling yourself.
You're a fool.
Let's say you had employees and one of them calls out 15 minutes before their shift. Or what happens if that employee calls out at midnight, says, look, I had some bad Thai food and I can't come in tomorrow morning, and you open at 6. Then it looks like you're going in and working that shift. Or the laundromat's not opening. I don't know. It's up to you what you're going to do. But you can ask any successful laundromat owner and they will all tell you laundromats are not passive income. When you see those offers, buy my...
I learned that probably in year 2. No, maybe... Yeah, first year, when you first have your laundromat, you kind of learn that really quickly, that this is not passive whatsoever. Originally, when you get in here, you think, just like he said, collecting coins, really have to do too much. But you quickly learn that's not the case. It becomes like another job if you don't have your own already. But as I've been in this game for quite some time, there is a way to make this business as a passive income business. If you change your mindset and think of it as a actual business investor. And if you think of it as being an actual business investor, then this business can be considered a passive income. Now, there's things you have to do in order for it to actually operate that way. You have to find a good operator, some good manager, or a good team, so that they are the ones who are handling the in-store issues. And you're essentially being the capital investor, having equity in the business and collecting all that income. In that structured way, then this business can essentially be a passive income business without so much of your involvement. But a lot of us who get in this, we're essentially, maybe first-time business owners, maybe have a business here, another type of business somewhere else, and we end up finding, it's not structured in that way where we can just leave it alone, and we actually have to have our involvement. But as I said, if you just change your mindset or come into it where you're an investor and you're not looking to do any of that type of work whatsoever, then, and only then, like the Last Dragon says, will you be able to have a passive income business. But let's continue on.
Course and make $25,000 a month profit. Don't believe it. It can be a good income, don't get me wrong, but it's not passive. The second misconception or myth is that laundromats have a 95% success rate. The truth is that laundromats are a very segmented industry. It's mostly mom and pops. So really nobody knows what the success rate is for laundromats. I think somebody put 95% out there. It sounds good. It got repeated by others. And so now it's kind of just taken as gospel that laundromats pretty much always succeed. And that's just not the case. Now, I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm not trying to tell you they're like as hard to run as restaurants, because they're definitely not. They are a much easier business to run than a restaurant.
Put that mute back. All right. So I know he's about to go into speaking about restaurants. Technically, yes, this industry is a lot more successful than a restaurant business. I think restaurant business typically end up getting more revenue or more income versus the laundromat per se, but they don't have their lifespan is quite short. But I was also told about that whole 95% success rate as well. But the thing is, once you're kind of in this business, or if you have your own business, you realize this is essentially a business. It's not a mom and pop type of shop. If you run it in a way as if it's an actual business, the success really depends on you and your cash flow in the business. Once you lose cash flow in the business, then you're essentially slowly failing, and you may have to start closing up shop or selling off machines or looking to sell it to another potential buyer who can potentially flip it and make it better than maybe you have in the past. So I just want to make that little comment there before he continue on, and then we'll see what else he has to say.
But it doesn't mean that they're automatically successful. I tried to buy a laundromat where the husband and wife just literally just walked away. The landlord wound up taking over that location, and now they own a laundromat. That's an example of an unsuccessful one. I pass a vacated laundromat every day on my way to my laundromat. So they don't always work. There is some risk involved. And again, it's not like running Apple or IBM. Don't think of that it's a no-brainer business. It does require effort and energy on your part, and they can fail just like any other business. Number 3, laundromats are always profitable. That's not true either. You can sign a bad lease. You could overbuild your laundromat if you started one from scratch. You could have too much competition. So laundromats are not always profitable. A lot of the ones that I see that are for sale, when you dig down deeper into the numbers, they're not even making a profit. On paper, they say, you could make $30,000 a year as a owner operator, which basically means that, like, if you want to come in here and work every day yourself, you can make a salary of a whopping $30,000. What they don't tell you, and when you have to dig a little for, is that they signed a bad lease. I was talking to another laundromat owner about this place, because they had actually approached him to buy it. The lease is just a bad lease. It's like 45 to 50% of the sales. Every dollar that this laundromat brings in, 45 cents of that dollar goes just to rent. That doesn't include any other expenses. Okay, you cannot be profitable if 45% of your money or revenue is going to just pay the rent. Number 4, not all
Yeah, he's right. The line item that should be the most expensive in regards to your business shouldn't be the lease. If the lease is the top of the line, then you're going to be shit out of luck, and you're not going to be able to have any type of staff if you're looking to staff your laundromat. For me, the top line item that's the most expensive is my staff, especially when you have to have minimum wage goes up every year. It's as if you give me minimum wage, if not higher. That line item probably should be the highest expense that you have that's variable. If that lease, because again, he's in Jersey as well, as he said. Jersey is really, really bad when it comes to the type of leases, especially when you're trying to get into the laundromat industry. A lot of deals fall because of the landlord and the lease that's there. They're not willing to renegotiate to something lower whatsoever. And as he mentioned, if it's taking 45% of your profits, you're not going to be profitable at all. You might as well just like, hey, forego it. Don't even put new machines in. Don't even retool it at all. Quite frankly, you might as well just skip the whole period. But yeah. And then the second line item that should be the most expensive is utilities. So again, our utilities, I know in Jersey, this went up 2 times for last year because of the whole gas and electric and even water went up crazy for last year. So you don't want to have your lease being higher than your utilities. If it is, then that's a problem, because utilities will go up every year, just like your lease will. And if your lease is going up maybe 5-7% every year, plus your utilities, plus the staff, yeah, you ain't making no money at all. I mean, because it means you have to price your machines at an extremely high point that might take you out of the competition if you have multiple laundromats near you. So that's my little 2 cents or 10 cents in regards to what he was just saying. But let's continue on.
Laundromats are the same. They range in size from the smaller ones, like 1,500 square feet, to bigger ones that are being built today, which are 11, 12, 13, 15,000 square feet. So just picture that, a 15,000 square footer versus a 1,500 square footer. Well, the one laundromat is 10 times larger than the smaller one. So you can just imagine the...
We're in Jersey, and he's in Jersey as well. Laundromats can be seen as small as 600 square feet. Same thing in New York. New York has really small locations as well. And these are really small, like, you would think there's almost like laundry room style type of laundromats. But no, there are some really small locations, whereas maybe 600 or 800 square feet. So again, it ranges, especially in New Jersey, it ranges from the really, really small ones to the extremely big, massive, mega laundromats. And on a side note, I'm going to be scouting a lot of the laundromats myself in Jersey to showcase a lot of the different sizes, structures, where it's standalone, where it's in a mini mall, to where it's like a corner with no parking, where it's connected to apartment building, etc. I'm doing all that this year in my scouting series to take a look at all the laundromats here in Jersey, and soon enough maybe we go on to New York, Long Island, Staten Island to see all the other type of laundromats. And there's a lot of cool looking ones where people coming in and sprucing them up with crazy looking colors, different signages, different experiences besides having coffee. So we want to take a look at all that with my little scouting series that I'm going to be doing here at the LaundryVerse. But let's continue on. I don't want to keep rambling, and let my guy right here, laundromat entrepreneurship, continue talking.
The amount of volume that they have to do to break even and be profitable. Also, some laundromats have dry cleaning. They also might specialize in certain types of customers, or maybe eco-friendly washing. So not all laundromats are the same. And number 5, laundromats are not recession-proof. Now, you might have heard me say in other videos, they are recession-resistant. But if there's a recession, laundromats still get hurt. They just don't get hurt in the way that some of the other businesses do. Perhaps the auto industry, the restaurant industry. But if I have a large amount of pickup and delivery customers, for most people, pickup and delivery is a luxury. Now, I do have some senior citizens who can't get out, can't get to laundry facilities, so it's a necessity for them. But for most of my pickup and delivery customers, they just simply don't want to do it. They don't have the time, they're not interested in it, whatever reason. So for them, it's a luxury. If somebody were to have to cut back in a household, that could be one of the first things that gets cut back. Or if you're a drop-off customer and we do wash and fold for you, you might say, well, you know what? It was nice having somebody else do it for me, but I'm going to go use the self-serve machines. Or, you know what? Honestly, I've always had a machine at my house. I'll just do it there. I don't want you to think that if there is a recession that, you won't see a hit to perhaps the revenue and profits. Now, like I said, it should be much less than other industries because people always have to wash their clothes. But they might not always need to do wash and fold. They might not always need to do pickup and delivery. So although it's largely recession resistant, it's not completely recession proof. I hope you liked this video. I'm going to do many more on both entrepreneurship and laundromats. If you
I want to add a note to that. He is correct. It is recession resistant. But I think the whole recession proof concept came about when it's strictly a self-service laundromat. Not talking about wash and fold, pick up delivery, dry cleaning, all that other stuff, because essentially the laundromat is a facility that's used for people to actually wash their clothes, because as we know, everyone needs to clean clothes no matter what. If it's just strictly focusing on the self-service laundromat portion, then it'll be recession proof per se, because you're still going to be hit with the utilities and things like that. So if you're not priced in a certain way, then you might falter and not actually make enough profit that you need. Now, I know as he was talking, one of the big things I was thinking about was during COVID. Like during COVID, a lot of businesses got hurt badly. But for me and my business, we actually made more during COVID than, say, another business would have. Now, when we got really hit was when the after effects of COVID. Once some of my other business locations where we did pick up and delivery from, once they started opening up, they kind of canceled some of their, because again, pick up and delivery is a luxury, like he said, and they kind of had to cancel it because they didn't have the enough customer base that was coming in to warrant a pickup and delivery type of situation. So, but again, when it came to the customers actually coming into the laundromat itself, we made a lot of money. It's just the pickup and delivery part, and even the dry cleaning. The dry cleaning was the one that got hit the most when it comes to the reducer customers coming in and doing dry cleaning. So if I was a dry cleaner at that time, I probably would have been hurt bad, because most of my customers are the ones who are working office individuals who are going out to the corporate locations, who are coming in to get their stuff clean. If they're not coming in because they're not going into the offices, then you're gonna get hurt. So, but yeah, that's my little nugget of wisdom and information on this. Let me finish up here and let him continue.
I hope you liked this video.
Yeah, he finished up, but you have to finish with his outro. If you want to take a look at his, his channel, Laundromat Entrepreneurship, take a look at his, or continue watching me here at the LaundryVerse. But again, everything he said, the 5 myths that he brought up, all facts. And again, you don't learn a lot of these things until you're actually in it. I know a lot of the TikTok people and some of the other well-known YouTubers who talk about our industry make it seem like they're making extreme amount of profits, but that's not the case for anyone who's coming in right away. A lot of times those individuals are either one, using the laundromat industry as a side business because we have multiples, or they're using, as like I was telling you before, as an investor. They're finding operators to operate the laundromats, and they're just doing some kind of capital injection to get equity from that laundromat. So they own the laundromat, but not operating it nonstop. Or there's someone who got into the laundromat industry, realized, I'm making money, but I can make more money consulting than I do with my laundromat, or even having podcasts, et cetera, et cetera. So, this industry has multiple ways you can make immense amount of streams of income just from owning the laundromat or even getting into it than others. So let me know your thoughts. Let me, what you think. Did he scare you off from want to be a laundromat owner? Did these 5 myths make you kind of second think of like, is this a good business to get into? Let me know in the comments or message me. However, so that's another episode here with, Kevin William with LaundryVerse. Now, I'm sure YouTube somewhere at one of these corners is going to recommend another one of my videos that you may like. Please click them and, enjoy. All right. Have a good one. Peace.